big crowd making a lot of noise. Play action. Deep middle in stride at the 5. Walking in for the touchdown. It's Randall Cobb. Inside handoff. Elliott plowing. Goal line. Touchdown. Fumble down around the 7-yard line. Who's got that football? Cowboys got a fumble. They're going to go boot to the right. He's going to keep it to the 5. He's got a first down. Dive into the pylon. Touchdown for Dak Prescott. Time to throw it over the middle, wide open to the 25-yard line. Amari Cooper to the pylon. Touchdown, Amari Cooper. 4-man rush with a twist. Pressure. Lee's there. He sacked him. How about Sean Lee?
It's Super Bowl weekend in Miami. The Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 54. Meanwhile, I'm Bill Jones here in the Academy Sports and Outdoor Studios at the Star in Frisco. And this is the Cowboys year-end special. We look ahead to 2020 and look back at 2019.
And the kickoff is going to come from our right to our left. So many people hope for and expect so much from this Dallas Cowboys season. Fade left side of the end zone. Tied! Oh, what a throw! Touchdown to Amari Cooper, and that throw was perfect. Prescott keeps running left. He's got a lot of room. Dak Prescott gets up, fires his right arm forward, 42 yards. They blitz from behind, and they're going to sack him, and it's going to be Robert Quinn. And he comes up, I think, riding the horse.
Prescott wires it over the middle, caught by Witten. Turning upfield, he lost the football.
With 1:44 left to make it a 7-point game. Kicks away. He missed it. And they will pitch it right to Austin. He's got a first down. 15, cuts it to 10, running to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Tavon Austin. Okay, 63 to become the first man in NFL history to kick 3 60-plus field goals. It's on the right hash. Now, kicks on the way. Look it up. Oh, he did it. Prescott in the gun. Throws to Jarwin. Caught at 33. Hurrying down the right sideline. 25, 15, 5. Blake Jarwin. How about you? A shot to the right side of the end zone, and this one's caught. A remarkable over-the-shoulder catch for Randall Cobb. And he flips it out right. Elliott picks it off the ground. 20, 15, 10. Cuts left. Dances in. That's a touchdown. And Elliott comes up doing his impression of the Prescott hip swivel warm-up dance. Prescott in the gun, standing and throwing the ball to the right. And a nifty catch for Witten at the 3. And 3 steps into the end zone for the GOAT.
I think he caught that with one hand, Brad.
I was so inspired by how our team played. And ultimately, as a coach, that's the stuff that becomes most important to you. So, ultimately, we didn't get it done. That's disappointing for everybody. But the guys played inspirational football. As a coach, that's what we value most.
And I am now joined by Barry Church, Everson Walls, and fresh from the Jimmy Kimmel Show, it's the playmaker, Michael Irvin, here on
It's nice that he could make it here. Straight off the plane. Straight off the plane.
He comes straight off that airplane.
All right, let's talk about what went wrong for this Cowboys team in 2019. What do you think?
Bill and I talk about this all the time on the podcast. We all drank the Kool-Aid. We all thought that this team was so talented that we could do whatever we wanted to do with no recourse. And we found out different. Especially when you have an offense as good as ours and a defense that really can't hold up.
Yeah, you know what I thought though, as we went through even last offseason, and I'm a real proponent of this, I thought the mindset, we heard a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of money and a very little bit of talk about a whole lot of love and what plans are, what we want to do together this season. Everybody was talking contract and not talking about what's the idea, what we want to accomplish this season. And I think that carried over. And everybody outside kept saying, oh, this is the team. This team is ready. This team's going to take that step.
Championship.
Right. And we believe that. And I think, and I even got to the point where I said, okay, maybe your heart got in the way of what your head is seeing because you love it so much, Maybe this is not as talented. Maybe this team's not as talented as you thought. But that's not the case. This is a talented football team, extremely talented football team. It's not about a physical skill set. I believe it's not more about skill. It's more about will and coming together and playing together, and they just didn't do it well this year.
They didn't do it well at all this year, and for me, I think it was a lot to do with the slow starts they had. I mean, we had two examples of games that we should have won, Chicago and the New York Jets game. Both games, we started out extremely slow, and we let this team get ahead of us, and we just couldn't do too much. It was too little too late by the time we tried to rally again. So I think a lot of it had to do with slow starts and special teams, man. I mean, look at that New England Patriots game. The only touchdown that was scored was a blocked punt. And I mean, if you take those 3 games back, we're in the playoffs as division champions.
That's very unusual. We've never had to complain about special teams.
This is true.
That was something that really surprised us during the whole year.
A lot of missed kicks and everything, and
it
situations
messes up your game plan.
Right.
If you know you can't make a first down, you say, okay, we're going to play it safe, we'll get 3 out of it. And when you don't get that 3 out, now all of a sudden you're still down by 2 scores. So that's the problem.
And what results is a coaching change. So why, Michael, did Jason Garrett not get over the hump here?
Man, and congratulations to Coach getting another job, another opportunity. But I really do believe sometimes, you hear one voice, you hear the one message, you hear the one, and you understand the one method. But sometimes it just gets a little old and gets a little stale. There's no doubt that those guys, they still believed in Coach Garrett. I think they still they like Coach Garrett.
Boy, they love him.
But they love him. They love him.
They do.
But it's not about love. It's about pulling the best out of each guy and putting the guy in the best position to win, and that just was not happening.
Those same people that love him, those are the ones that got him fired. Yeah. Those players. I mean, to me, and Mike, you know this. Of course, we want great coaches. We want a coach that's going to be able to bring order. But when it's all said and done, I mean, when Jimmy first came to town, he looked at you as that guy that was going to uplift everybody to say, okay, I got the coaches, you take care of the players. All right, well, this team had no one to keep the players accountable. Yeah, you got your money. Okay, everything's fine with the money. That's all great. But now we got to go out here and make plays. And I don't care what your resume says.
Right.
It starts from day one, from game one, from play one. I thought a lot of them were just really, as they say, resting on their laurels.
Right, and expecting people to lay down.
Yeah.
You walk in with the star, that doesn't mean you are a star. You have to win football games to be that. And honestly, man, nowadays, these guys are stars before they do star-like things on the football field.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's new school, man. You're going way. No, that's a whole nother conversation.
Man, I had to catch myself watching some of these games. I mean, I had to catch like, hey, calm down, Michael. Calm down. I'm in there going off.
Calm down. Right. We got a whole hour to talk about this, and we're just getting started here on the year-end special. And when we come back in just a moment, Michael, Everson, and Barry talk about the new sheriff in town.
The 2019 Dallas Cowboys year-end special, presented by Miller Lite, is brought to you by Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ford. Ford is the best in Texas.
Yes, we needed Mike.
Certainly, you look at his track record, it's all been said. It's just, it was the right fit for us in terms of what we were wanting to get accomplished.
So I do want to introduce you to the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy.
And I just want to tell you, I am anxious and excited to get to work on winning the next Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mike McCarthy, the new coach of the Cowboys, and look at this coaching staff, including a defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan, former head coach in the league, John Fossil, the special teams coach, keeping Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. Welcome you back here to the year-end special. And Barry Church, let me ask you right off the top, why is Mike McCarthy the right hire for this team?
I think it was a great hire for this team. I mean, not only is this guy experienced, I mean, he's been to the top of the peaks. He's been to the top of the mountain. He's got that Super Bowl win. I mean, I think he's had 9 consecutive consecutive years of going to the playoffs. So he brings that experience, he brings that winning mentality to this team. And this team is, I mean, they're coming off of 8-8 and making the playoffs, not making the playoffs. So they need some consistency there. And I feel like Mike McCarthy brings that to this team. Also, he's kind of like a quarterback whisperer type of guy. I mean, he's had Brett Favre, he's had Aaron Rodgers, he's led them to the careers that they've had. So if he can just have a little bit of tutelage towards Dak Prescott, get him to that next level, I think he's an amazing hire.
I think the best part of it.
You want to get that, Mike?
The best part of it.
You want to get
No, it's all good. The best part of it for me is that they kept Kellen Moore. I mean, I like that move. My concerns were, you know, when you look around the league, you see new offenses getting implemented. Even Aaron Rodgers, you know, struggled in the implementation of a new offense. And Dax had his best season last year under this offense. And I didn't want them to scrap all of it and start him all over. And now he loses that experience that he's gotten in the offense the last 3-4 years. So keeping Kellen Moore and hopefully still bring Mike McCarthy and let him bring in those things, and he puts it on Dak a little at a time instead of just overvamping or overhauling the whole offense. I thought that was a brilliant move by him.
I thought it was all mutual. First of all, Mike McCarthy, he couldn't sit still. I thought he was going to mess his pants up or something because he was so happy to be here. And as we talked about it, you can say what you want about it being a mirage, but as far as he's concerned, it's an embarrassment of riches offensively for him.
Right.
I don't think he's really had this much talent. He's had a great quarterback, of course, but that running back position, that offensive line that he's going to be dealing with now, I think that really excites him. Now, on the other side, Dak Prescott could learn something, just like you were talking about. Dak Prescott could learn something. His experience that he's gained as one of the better young quarterbacks really coming up in the league. His numbers really, a lot of people really can't match the numbers that he's done, except for maybe somebody like Mahomes. But as you go forward, now take that experience from the old regime that you had with what McCarthy's going to teach you. I think it's a mutual beneficiary for both of them.
And I think the fact that he's been there, you know, he's been there. These guys, I think, will listen to him. It's the old adage, how can I tell you what I do not know? How can I take you where I did not go? He has gone there, you know. So now when he sits and talks, these guys have the physical skill set. They have all the talent shoulders down. It's just how they see it shoulders up, and he can put them in position to see it and hopefully lead.
I'd like to see a coach right now that's not so friendly to him.
Right.
You know, they don't like me.
No doubt.
Parcells, you say, hate me, but be together in the locker room.
Right.
All right? So you guys be together in your hatred towards me. To me, that's the best relationship you can have with a coach. You and Jimmy were cool, but when Jimmy wanted to, Jimmy laid the fear down.
Right, he was firm.
Yeah.
He was firm.
No compromise.
And there's a way that we do things. There's a way that things have to be done. And just like honesty, people respect that. They respect that, but once you start allowing leaks and things to go unnoticed or unattended to, then people see that also.
Next thing you know, your special team sucks.
Right, so he brings an order, is what you're talking about. He brings an order that you probably think has been missing.
Yeah. All right, when we continue here on the year-end special, we're going to dive deeper into this Cowboys offense headed to 2020.
This segment was brought to you by Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Deep middle in stride. It's Randall Cobb. Touchdown, Elliott. Take that. Dive into the pylon. Touchdown for Dak Prescott. Gallup leaping. Touchdown. Intercepted by New England.
I've got to go look back and from game one to the last one and figure it out. And maybe we can put an answer on it. Maybe we can.
Welcome back to the Cowboys year-end special inside the Academy Sports and Outdoors studios here at the Star in Frisco. I'm Bill Jones, and here is Mickey Spagnola taking a look at that Cowboys offense in 2019.
Looking back, the 2019 Dallas Cowboys offense was laced with serious incongruity.
Prescott in an empty gun. Wings the ball right on the sideline. Gallup beats a man, dives to the goal line. Touchdown. Fake, move to the right, Witten's open. At the 5, at the 3, touchdown for the goal.
So what happened? Well, we can start here. The Cowboys had offensive brownouts in 3 games, scoring only 1 touchdown in a 12-10 loss to New Orleans, and no touchdowns in a 13-9 loss to New England and a 17-9 loss to Philadelphia. In fact, in 4 of the Cowboys' 8 losses, they averaged just 10.9 points a game. A big problem in the majority of those losses was turnovers, the Cowboys committing 11 of their 18 giveaways in 6 of the 8 losses.
Prescott wires it over the middle, caught by Witten, turning upfield, he lost the football.
So when you turn the ball over like that, your kicker for 13 games misses the most field goals in the NFL this season, and your defense gives up 26 points a game in those 8 losses. That leads to 8-8. Reducing some robust offensive numbers into a disappointingly average season.
You get in the locker room right there and you see the love for one another, you see the care, you see the commitment to one another. And that's what's disappointing is you all have to look at one another and say, we gave it our all, we did the best we could, we just didn't get the job done. And that's everybody.
Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win.
Look at those numbers for Dak Prescott. 4,900 yards passing, Barry Church. Cowboys went from 23rd in the league in passing to number 2 in the league in passing offense, Barry.
It took a huge jump, and especially Dak Prescott. If you look at the numbers, I mean, 4,900 yards passing. I think he had 30 touchdowns, only 11 interceptions. His QBR was 99.7, so he had an amazing season. I just think the inconsistencies had to come where this offense didn't know its identity. I mean, I feel like for the beginning of the year, it was let's pound the ball with Zeke. We're doing good. We're 3-0. Hold on, let's see what Dak got in his arm. So the next 4 or 5 games, we're all leaning on Dak's shoulder and his arm and everything like that, and he's performed well. But those losses that we had, where he threw the ball maybe 45 times, 50 times, where we needed to feature the run, I just think that the inconsistencies there had a lot to do with it, just not knowing their identity.
Well, he had no choice, really, when you think about it. You're starting every possession backed up. We were the worst team in the league when it came to a starting field position. And, you know, he had to make those throws. He had to make those touchdowns. He had to make those yards because he's starting off from so far back. By the time we get to the red zone, we got nothing left. We've exhausted our playbook.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing about this team that really made me nervous offensively, we know that we are so good at doing the basic things. There are times when we don't make the corrections or the adjustments that we need to make. When you're so good at doing something, it's like the Bears. We're going to run it no matter what, you know, with Walter Payton. We're going to run it no matter what you do because this is what we do. Well, that was all good back in 1979 and 1980. Now defensive coordinators are smarter, and you have to be more creative in your plays, and you have to game plan situations better. Right. They didn't do that.
And game plan situations are one thing, but I thought that we got caught up on the shiny objects. You know, when a couple of years ago, Sean McVay comes in with the Rams and all of these shiny objects, throwing the ball everywhere, and everybody then wanted the next Sean McVay-like coach that can put all these shiny objects out there and throw the ball all over the field. But this year, the 4 top passing teams didn't make the playoffs.
At all.
The 4 top running teams made the playoffs. And I thought we got away from our main thing that has made us and that kept you in the main lead of the division for a while, which is running the football. Around week 3 or 4, we started talking about, hey, man, Dak's throwing the ball all over the field. Let's turn this into a passing offense. Well, Dak was making all of those great throws because everybody was locked up in the box trying to stop the run. We needed to keep that in their forefront, that we are a running football team that can throw. We are not a passing football team that's trying to run, and that's where it got to for the Dallas Cowboys.
Do you guys think that the play calling was getting too cute towards the end of the season to try? Like we were thinking, oh, we got to do this to get
trying
there.
to play with these shiny objects. Trying to play with these shiny objects.
Speaking of shiny objects, when we come back here on the year-end special, we're breaking out a shiny object, the telestrator, and Michael's going to be joined by Nate Newton to break it down.
Shiny objects.
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Prescott, lots of time rushed. Now deep down the left side, there's Cooper at the 30. Left sideline to the 20. Broke the tackle to the 10. Broke another one to the 5. Walks in for the touchdown. It is 3rd down and 2. And they run Elliott, and he's going to lose yardage.
Welcome back to the year-end special. I'm here with the big fella, Nate Newton, and we want to show you guys a couple of plays that we feel just been like a microcosm of the Dallas Cowboys season. Some things go great, and then some things go not so great. Let me show you what I'm talking about. On this first play, we're just going to high-low this corner. It's a couple dig routes, but Amari Cooper has a dig and up, short dig and up. And you watch what happens with Randall Cobb when he goes into that corner. As he comes out of the dig, goes into the corner, and he'll come in and go up. It's just a great play and a great design and great execution. Taking advantage of what Amari Cooper does best up top, which is transition. Look at that great transition in that route. Run it again. Keep running. Look at that great transition out of the route. Stop it right there. He cannot be right. Now, since he's going chasing Amari Cooper, he's already out of position. Amari Cooper has beaten him. Even if he played back, they would have hit Randall Cobb in the flat and still got a nice game. Look at that. Beautiful air up under the ball, Nate. Yes. By Dak Prescott to let the receiver, don't try to throw a perfect pass, just let the receiver run up under it, and Amari Cooper does what he does best right there, getting to the end zone, run after catch, rack yards right there. Now let's go down, Nate, and look at the offensive line.
As you see right here, what you want is a perfect umbrella for the quarterback to separate. The 2 guards in the center has to do a perfect job so our tackles can run the guys around the outside. Here we have a young guy in Brandon Knight, does a great job of running his guy because he's going to have a guy coming from here, guy coming in there, be a double team here and a double team here. And as that go, you'll see. Let the play run. Boom. Stop. Perfect umbrella protection here. That's what you need. Dak can see the field. He feels no pressure. Let it run. He steps up, feels something to his right. You see your left tackle.
I love how he ran around the horn. He didn't have to stop him at the line of scrimmage. All he has to do is make sure he doesn't get to the quarterback.
Thank you. And here we go. Nice release. Like you say, you put air up under the ball, let the receiver do what he do. That's Amari Cooper at home and feeling good.
And that's one of the things that we've seen Dak do much better at this year, I thought, than previous years, putting that air up under the ball and letting the receiver run up under the ball instead of trying to make a perfect throw. Let this go. Let this play run. Now, here's the not so good right here. And this was just a 3rd and 2, Nate, against Minnesota. Talk to us about what happened on this play.
What happened here is we need for the center and the left guard to go through these 2 guys. If this guy go in here, he takes it. If this guy go out here, he takes it. I'm talking about the linebacker. If he go in and out, these 2 guys decide. But first, you erase that. First, you take care of this guy. We did not. Our guard left too soon, hung our center out, didn't give Zeke. Zeke got an option to go here. Zeke got an option to go there. Or Zeke got an option to go right down there. Erase.
Let's run.
Let it run.
Let's run this play now.
Let it run.
And
as you see, my left guard just gave it up. Connor just gave it up. He hung Frederick out the jive. Zeke did not give a chance to read anything.
And penetration kills a play like this here. Because really, what Connor has to do, no matter what, and I know Connor's worried about getting to this linebacker, but what he has to do, because it's 3rd and short, he has to, no matter what, stay on him. Stay on him. He's already 4 yards in back, so no matter, it'll be hard. I'd rather see him and Zeke in the hole fighting for 2 yards, and I believe Zeke will win that every time.
But right there, he had no chance.
No chance. That's what happened all year with the Dallas Cowboys. You see a great play, and then you get in a situation like this and see a bad play. Coming up next, we'll talk off-season moves.
Throws it over the middle, intercepted. Sean Lee at the 35. Lee bouncing off bodies, coming left now. Sean Lee making maybe the defensive play of the year for this team. Rodgers with an inside handoff to Jones. They got a good block to the 10, down to the 5. Walking the dog, Aaron Jones.
3rd down and 9. This is Patterson trying to make a move, and he's got it. Still going. Down inside the 35.
The Cowboys year-end special continues now as we break down this Dallas defense with Rob Phillips.
At
8-8, the Cowboys' season was a series of ups and downs. The same could be said on defense in particular. For the third straight season, the Cowboys finished as a top 10 total defense. They ranked just outside the top 10 in points allowed at 20.1 per game.
Now the snap with two gloved hands. Blitzer off the edge from the backside. Bridgewater is buried.
Yet, overall, 2019 did not meet their own high standards. The Cowboys lost 4 of their final 5 games. During that stretch, the defense gave up nearly 25 points a game. They forced only 17 turnovers in 2019, tied for the 4th fewest in the league. Linebacker Leighton Vander Esch missed the final 6 games with a neck injury that required surgery, but is looking to return for the offseason program. There were bright spots. Defensive end Robert Quinn led the team with 11.5 sacks after coming over in a trade from the Dolphins.
If you want to be honest, I'm still disappointed at the year. That's my expectations. Personally, then team-wise, of course, still disappointed. But again, as an individual, you set your bar kind of high. Me, I set my bar kind of high. Like I always say, I just try to do my part to help this team win.
But with Mike Nolan taking over as defensive coordinator, changes are in store. Plus, over 15 defensive players can become unrestricted free agents this spring, including Quinn and cornerback Byron Jones. The 2020 Dallas defense could look much different.
The defensive leaderboard, check out Robert Quinn, 11.5 sacks coming over from the Miami Dolphins. Barry Church, though, what was the defense's biggest downfall in 2019?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things you can attribute to this defense taking a step back this year. A lot of it, I think, has to do with the splash plays. Last year, I feel like there was a lot of plays where they're getting forced fumbles, and not only are they scooping it up, but they're taking it to the end zone. I think Jalen Smith had a 60-some-yard return for a touchdown a year ago, but not enough splash plays. And as my boy Everson knows, not enough interceptions as well. This team, I think a whole they had maybe 6 interceptions for a whole, but that just was a big letdown. And
this guy right 57 picks in his career.
Well, he knows about taking that ball away.
I'm not here, man. I don't even want to. Okay, I'm going to talk about it.
Go ahead.
All right. No. Actually, when you talk about a team that doesn't make the turnovers, then we talked about the pressure it puts on your offense. You can't depend on your offense to carry you. You can't depend on your offense to be that igniter for your team. Defensively, you have to come out and set the tone. We haven't done that. We did that the Saints game 2 years ago, and the Philadelphia game this past season. Right. That's the only time where I've seen us really depend on the defense to set the tone for the entire game. Right. You cannot set the tone if you don't stop them on third downs. You cannot set the tone if your linebackers, not only can they not fill the hole, they can't cover any tight end that you've seen all year long. So I don't know what the philosophy is going to be, if we're going to go to more zone versus man-to-man, but when you have a defensive line that has a problem, then you have linebackers that also have a problem.
And I thought that led to an issue this year that we didn't see in previous years, because for some reason, I felt like I saw more missed tackles.
Oh yeah, man!
Than I've ever seen. I saw and you watching the games like third down. Oh, he got him. Oh man, how'd you miss that tackle, man? God almighty! Right, man. It was just so many missed tackles, man. And
by some very dependable players that we have been depending on since the whole career.
That had everybody thinking that they were going to take a major step. Let's just start talking real here. You saw the board. 168 tackles by Jalen, and that's a big number. That's a big number.
That's a big number.
Right. But we saw in previous years, man, Jalen and Van Ness, they wasn't missing any tackles. Nothing was getting by them. And that's why he got the new deal. That's why we were so excited about Van Ness.
To the D-line, though. That's what is it just the linebackers are not making the plays? Yeah. Is the D-line stopping the offensive lineman from getting to your linebackers?
Right. And like last year, letting them roam and make all the tackles and everything. Goodness. And I saw that, and let's put it there. Hey, D-Law had 5 sacks on that board.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
For what we've come accustomed to and what he does, and I know he gets all the double teams and everything, you know, even he'll tell you he still has to find more ways to make more plays. He can't let that dictate.
With those double teams, we got to have other people taking advantage of their one-on-ones.
Right.
Only one that was able to do that was Robert Quinn with his 11.5 sacks. Everybody else was kind of just getting locked up on our one-on-ones, and you just can't have that if you want to have the defense.
Coming up next year on the Cowboys year-end special, Everson and Barry go into the film room. They get to play with the telestrator next.
Center, Trubisky play fake, Putin to the left. Throw to the left side, intercepted. If his feet were inbounds.
The defender was able to make a catch.
Take the belt, go deep. Anderson's out there. This is going to go the distance. 92 yards.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the year-end special. I'm in the film room with my guy, Everson. We're going to break down two plays, one good, one bad. But first, let's start off with the good play. As we have here, the Dallas Cowboys against the Chicago Bears. Now, they're in man-to-man coverage, which means Byron's locked up here, Jordan's locked up on the slot, and we got Awuzie locked up at the top with his wide receiver. Now, as we let the play ride a little bit here, we see that they're in man-to-man coverage, and Jordan Lewis, let's pause it right there, is in a great position right here. He's outside leverage, man-to-man. He knows all his help is right in here with the linebackers and right in the middle of the field with the safety, all on the inside. So he has to stay on outside leverage right there. And as we let the play progress, we see he's playing low hip, doing great. Let's stop it right there. He's doing great right here, low hip. He knows he has that safety help right there, so he's playing to undercut the receiver. They're in the red zone. There's no fear of getting beat deep. Walls, what do you see right here?
I see the same thing, Barry. I see the cornerbacks are in great position. All DBs are in good position. Woods is in excellent position here in the secondary. As he revolves over and run the bootleg, then you see the defense also revolving over. So the help in the middle doesn't change. The play action is not gonna mess with Woods at all. He's still in position, playing great. He makes the quarterback really hold his throw, and Woods is able to come under here, but Lewis is the one that's able to make the play.
Lewis was able to make an amazing play right there. If we can run it back just 2 seconds, he was able to get the catch, get both feet inbounds. I did
not know he made that catch.
I mean, it was an unbelievable catch. Both feet inbounds. If we stop it right here, he was able to get both feet inbounds, secure the takeaway, and a great possession for that team, which they needed. They ended up losing, but that was one of the greatest takeaways from that game. Let's go to the next play here against the New York Jets.
This is bad. This is bad.
Right here, we're in cover 3. If we can stop it right here. The corner, or the nickel, I'm sorry, Jordan Lewis traveled over here with the slot receiver to try to confuse the quarterback to make him think that they're in man-to-man coverage when they're really in cover 3. And as we progress the play, we see the quarterback kind of adjusting to it, thinking he has his shot, and stop it right there. This is where it all goes wrong for the Dallas Cowboys, right here and right here. As you see these two positions, the corner, he should have help underneath there, but he does not have help, and he bites up on that double move. The double move is also bid upon by the free safety, who's supposed to have all this area in the center of the field, but does not. He's playing flat-footed. Let's run the play a little bit, and he gets burnt right past him. What do you see right there?
Well, one thing I saw was whether Awuzie was playing cover 3 or cover 1, it really didn't matter. He's not supposed to let the receiver get behind him. That's number one. Number two, it seems like Heath was influenced, and this is by design. I believe Heath was influenced by the wide receiver in the slot because he came right down the middle of the field. That allowed Heath to hesitate for just a beat, and that is all they needed to get behind him from the wide receiver.
That's all they needed to get behind him, and that's all they needed to take the win from this game. I mean, this was one of the big plays in the game. It didn't go well for the Dallas Cowboys after that. It was kind of a little bit too late, and they weren't able to get the victory. But hopefully these guys can play at a higher level next year and get to those playoffs. But we shall see.
We shall see.
Like I said, I want to be here. I love it here.
I really enjoyed every moment. We'll see what happens.
I love the guys here, love everything, but we know the business, how it works.
See where I'm at physically in a month or two, and then make a decision then.
Organization has to make the decision, and you have to make a decision on what you want to do.
Never thought about the contract this season and hadn't thought about it.
That's our number one priority as we go into the offseason is to get his contract, hopefully, find some resolution to it and get that done.
Cowboys have 28 free agents, 25 unrestricted free agents headed to this offseason. You see the list there. Blake Jarwin, by the way, a restricted free agent. But Michael Irvin, how would you prioritize those free agents? Obviously, on offense, Dak tops the list.
Absolutely. You go with Dak. And I try to solidify Amari Cooper also in some form, some fashion, try to lock him in for the long haul. Because I remember what this offense looked like prior to getting Amari Cooper.
It wasn't an offense. It was offensive.
It was offensive. And we certainly don't want to go back to that. But I see that too, guys. You got to talk about Blake Jarwin. I thought Blake Jarwin earned the right to be on the field more last year. And, you know, of course, Jason Witten was here, and that cut into his time. So I hope I'm hoping the Dallas Cowboys can get him back and get him more opportunities on the football field, because I thought he took a step up.
I'm with you, though. And one guy that I love, and I want to see him get the ball more, is no way Hot Sauce should have beat him in receptions this year, and that's Randall Cobb. Yeah. I think Cobb is going to be big for us this year. But my number one guy, free agent-wise, Forbath. Forbath is my guy. You get that guy, get him in position. He's like Matt Barr. He's like your boy Blake used to be. He is automatic. And when I say automatic, I'm not talking about how he skimmed inside and it was tailing off. No, right down the middle. That's what I like. That's a true kicker, professional kicker. He's not gonna get you over 50 too much.
Right.
But you get under 50, where you need those sure 3 points. I think he's a priority to sign.
Kai Forbath on that.
Kai Forbath.
All right, Barry, what position group needs to be improved the most?
The position group that needs, I think it's going to have to be the secondary, because I think they're going to.
I just laid it up.
Yeah, you did. You did give me a nice layup. But I think for sure it's going to be the secondary, especially if they lose Byron Jones to free agency. I mean, he's going to be a top ticket guy. He's going to be a lot of money. So if they lose him, that's a guy that can play corner, safety, and nickel.
He must play safety.
Who, Byron?
Byron Jones must play safety.
You think Byron?
I think he needs to be a 100% safety player
Did you
this
see how
year.
He played his rookie year safety?
And can be effective.
I don't care how he played his rookie year. He's got that experience at cornerback. He can't catch the ball with the crap, with his back to the ball. You put that guy safety, with his intelligence, with his athletic ability, he can make some plays.
With this new style of defense where safeties back in the day didn't have to cover. Safeties now must cover.
And he can cover.
And if you can cover from the safety position, you can be very valuable in this league.
Belichick did that with me with the Giants. Put me at safety on passing downs, came down, I covered the slot man when it came down to man-to-man. That solidified the entire man-to-man system. Byron Jones can do that for the Cowboys.
Your best corner move back to safety?
You have your best corner catch a cold in Alaska with ice cubes in his pocket.
Well, that's something, you're saying something there, though, because that might say where they need to upgrade the whole cornerback position and then put him at safety. I don't know. I'm just
talk to me, Mike.
Want to talk Hall of Fame?
We can talk Hall of Fame.
We're going to talk Hall of Fame when we come back here on the Cowboys Year in
Special. Hall of Fame. I'm telling you.
The 2019 Dallas Cowboys Year-End Special, presented by Miller Lite, was brought to you by Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. For the ultimate Dallas Cowboys experience, tour the Star in Frisco, where the Cowboys train and work. For more information, visit thestarinfrisco.com/tours.
It's my great honor to tell you that you're going to be the 328th Hall of Famer into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And your legacy is going to be in Canton, Ohio forever. Congratulations, Coach.
Initially undrafted out of tiny Ouachita Baptist in Arkansas, Harris played his entire 10-year career as a member of the Dallas Cowboys. His fearless pursuit of the football earned him the nickname Captain Crash.
We're talking Hall of Fame here. Last couple of minutes of the Cowboys Year-End Special. It's a big year for Cowboys Hall of Famers. We got a Hall of Famer right here, Michael Irvin. As Cliff Harris is going in,
yes,
and Jimmy Johnson going in too.
And I'm so happy, guys, when I watched it. I was maybe 300 yards away from the network or in L.A. when Jimmy went in. You know, I watched Saturday's show, and a new Bill Cowher guy, and I was like, wow. I know Jimmy has to get in. Jimmy has too, and he's done such a fabulous job. It's not about the amount of time, it's what he accomplished in that amount of time. And all my years of knowing Coach Johnson, I've never seen him that emotional.
Man.
When David Baker came out and put him in the NFL Hall of Fame.
He tried to hold it together,
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah, he tried to hold it together.
It was good to see him let that go because, you know, people see Jimmy as this hard-nosed guy.
Right.
But that right there was the most, I guess he just felt so happy, man. And it was it humanized him a little bit. That's a good moment.
He thought if he was going to get it, it was going to be on the pregame show, and they waited to halftime, so they
Boy, they really messing with
You're right about that. And also, I love that all the guys came out. You know, you can hear all the guys. Because I think you look on that set, Terry, Howie, Mike Strahan, all those guys. Troy.
Yeah.
But all of those guys that he works with, they have rings. He has rings. But they're all they all have gold jackets. So you know silently that's been stinging him too.
Right.
Now he can walk in there boldly and bravely and say, I got rings and I got my jacket.
And put
just
me in
like
the Ring of
everybody
Honor, right? And put me in the Ring of Honor.
Speaking of ring, that's a great way to bring that up. Speaking of ring.
And Everson, Cliff Harris going into
Cliff Harris, man, I talked to Cliff the day before, talked to him a little bit after. Just really, I didn't know he was going to be in, number one. I'm so glad he made it in. Number two, I didn't want him to feel slighted about everyone being so disappointed about Drew. I had to call him and let him know that because we were so disappointed and heartbroken about Drew Pearson. I want to let Cliff know, man, I'm so proud of you. From a fellow free agent, you know, going from Ouachita Baptist to the Hall of Fame, you can't beat that, man. I mean, I was so proud of him.
So Jimmy Johnson, Cliff Harris joining Michael Irvin in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That does it for our Cowboys year-end special. For Barry Church, Everson Walls, and Michael Irvin, I'm Bill Jones. We appreciate you joining us. It's going to be a big year in 2020 for your Dallas Cowboys.
Which will make a better year-end special.